The 2022-23 NBA schedule was released, and this year we've got a few surprises.
What is it and why?
What do you care?
One of them is Rivals Week. That's 11 games starting January 24th. Rivals Week is being billed as a showcase for classic and rising rivalries between teams and players, but is it?
You know, they were rivals, but they loved each other.
Honestly, I think some of these games look like bangers, absolute must-see TV, but others look just like a reach. Welcome to Hoops and Dreams. Today, we're taking a look at the new NBA schedule and ranking the top 10 games of Rivals Week. And since there's 11 games but only 10 slots, that leaves an honorable mention, and it's easy to slide the Bulls versus the Hornets here. This one feels forced, as the Ball brothers haven't even shown much of a sibling rivalry, let alone a basketball one.
A sibling rivalry took center stage in the WWE.
But LaMelo is a passing savant, and Lonzo is a legit talent in his own right on a stacked team, so this one's gonna at least be watchable. Starting the list off at number 10 is the Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves, and it feels like the league is really grasping at straws here for the rivalry angle.
You losers are trying too hard.
And since Pat Beverly is no longer in Minnesota, I mean, maybe this rivalry is like Woodland Creature based or something, but both teams are super talented, so at least should be a good game. But let's be real here. There's a much more interesting pairing with Memphis that's going to be way higher on the list. A fate that they actually share with the Brooklyn Nets at number 9, because even though the Nets are a legit intrastate rival who's added Jalen Brunson, the Knicks can't do more damage to the Nets than the Nets can do to themselves.
You are your own worst enemy, Commander.
And with that many question marks on both sides of the ball, it steals away some of the shine from this matchup for me. And at number 8, we catch the NBA still reaching with the Toronto Raptors versus the Golden State Warriors. I mean, yeah, the Raptors beat the Dubs to win a ring in 2019, but there wasn't a lot of animus between those two teams. Plus, the Warriors just won their 4th title, and Kawhi isn't even a Raptor anymore.
God doesn't live here anymore.
He's clawing for another team that's even higher on the list at the moment. Now from number 7 on, that's where the games start to fit the concept for real, because the Phoenix Suns haven't been the same since Luka Doncic and the Mavs upset them in the playoff.
You killed them all.
And CP3 is the Old Testament type of point guard, so you know the Suns are gonna demand retribution. But I got a feeling that Luka Doncic is a non-believer, so there's no way I'm missing this one. Number 6 is the Clippers versus Clutch Sports West.
And as soon as you touch us, we'll sue you for everything you got and everything you're gonna have.
I mean the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Clippers are all grown up and moving out of the Lakers' house in 2024, so you know they're gonna want to show off. You've got superstars on both sides of the ball, and the sibling rivalry of brothers who were forced to share a bunk bed. Kawhi's back, so am I on this one. It's only the general Pigpen style cloud of chaos that surrounds the Lake Show at the moment that keeps this one out of the top 5 for me. Taking that slot is the Denver Nuggets versus the Philadelphia 76ers, or as I'm sure the NBA will market it, the Nikola Jokic's versus the Joel Embiid's. But there's a good reason for that. Joker won MVP twice in a row, and Embiid was runner-up twice. There's no indication that the players hate each other, but if you look online, their fans chirp up a lot.
A blood feud between vampires and lichens.
So the trash talk factor on this one is going to be super high, but more importantly, both teams are elite. And it's not crazy to think that this game could be a finals preview, so I'm definitely not missing out on this one. But if you want a game where the friction hits as hard between the players on the court as it does the fans online, look no further than the Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat at number 4. These two teams met just last year in the playoffs, and their series was about as physical as a matchup gets these days.
Same physical matchup as our other guys. No next to kin, no appeals, all violent offenders.
The Celtics willed their way to the finals, and Jimmy is not the type of butler that likes being served, so you know it's game on. But there's a Celtics rivalry game this week that matters more, because it always does. There have been 74 titles in NBA history, and either the Celtics or the Lakers have won half of them.
Along with our family fortunes is why we rule the world. Right, Jimmy?
If the Lakers are their best selves, then this game shoots to number 1. But if Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis can't get it together by then, this game has to rest at a well-deserved number 3 for me. Which brings us to number 2, which I think features one of the best rivalries in basketball, even though both teams say that it isn't.
Paramount Pictures could not afford the bad publicity.
and that's the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Golden State Warriors. The intensity of this non-beef is the same on the court as it is off, with both teams chirping in interviews and social media. And this rivalry really goes back to last season, and if you want to know all about it, just hit that box right there. But for now, just suffice it to say that there is no way this one won't be well worth the West Coast start time. But as long as the Brooklyn Nets look like anything resembling a functional basketball team, then the game that I'm most excited to see for Rivals Week is the Brooklyn Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And how can I not be? From Ben Simmons to Joel Embiid to James Harden and Kyrie Irving, there is actual bad blood all over the place.
I don't want any more bad blood between exes.
Not only that, both Kevin Durant and Embiid are both players who play up to the moment in dramatic spots, and you know this game is probably going to be everything the league dreamed of when they thought of this idea. That is, providing there isn't a ghost town where the Nets roster's supposed to be at game time. But that's your boys list. What's yours? Leave your list and thoughts about Rivals Week in the comments, and thanks for watching Hoops and Dreams. If you dig the vibe, hit the subscribe to join the tribe. Peace.